Hi everyone, Professor Phillips here, Professor P. Welcome to our deep dive lecture for the Module 1 case study. Now, in this course, I don't want you to just memorize terms from a textbook. I want you acting like a real professional. This week, you are stepping into a dual role. First, as a digital consumer, auditing your own footprint, and second, as a high-level senior data strategist, navigating a massive ethical and financial dilemma for a company called HealthTrack. Now, to do this successfully, you have to learn how to communicate like an executive. This means mastering a tool used across modern corporate landscapes called the decision memo. So let's just jump in and I'll show you one. Now, a decision memo is a lightweight, highly structured document designed to make a strategic call. It's a document that does exactly what it documents. It documents exactly what the call depends on and a pre-commitment to a measurable path forward. It forces you to get honest about a lot of your uncertainty. Now, it really can be framed in just a very few parts. That's the purpose, the background or context, the signature level, justification, and the timeliness, and then the recommendation. So all your decision memos are really 5 sentences, or for the most part. And so when you do your assignment, you're going to lay these out in the exact same way. You're going to write it in this format where you're sending the decision to whoever that person is applicable to, from whoever you are pretending to be in the assignment, with a subject about what you're talking about, and then you're going to cover the purpose, the background or context, the signature level justification, the timeliness, and the recommendation. These are the parts of a decision memo template. Now, decision must be a single sharp sentence. My call is to take blank action for this scope by this date to improve this metric. If you can't state your decision in one sentence, you don't have a decision yet. You have a debate. Now, the options are the background and context must be present mutually exclusive paths. This always includes an option A, option B, and the baseline, and which is doing nothing. For your assumptions, your justifications, these are the falsifiable if-then statement, things like if-then statements. For example, if friction is our main user bottleneck, then updating our onboarding flow beats offering cash incentives. This forces you to identify exactly what must be true for your decision to be right. So you're going to be justifying why you're telling your boss to make this decision. And then the recommendation or the decision rule, this is the key move. It turns vague. Well, we'll see planning into it turns very vague planning into hard commitments. If you state our metric hits the exact threshold by this date, we scale option A. If it doesn't, we pivot to option B or stop entirely. That is a definitive, that is a decision, that is a plannable offense that can happen. So your recommendation is going to be those distinctive statements of fact. We are going to do A until B, and then if that doesn't work, we'll move to C and on to D. All right, so that is your decision-making template. This is the format. We open up with a person that you're sending it to, person from, subject, and 5 sections: purpose, background, signature, justification, timeliness, and recommendation, and then a professional closing, which is usually just your name, title, and those type of things. This should not take you more than 5 or 10 minutes to create this piece of documentation. It's less than 1 page, less than 250 words. Now, for your assignment, let's just get into one of your case studies, and we'll do case study 1. You have 4 sections. You're going to start at the very top with the video instructions, this one included, lecture instructions on what this all talks about, and then you're going to get into the objective, the required resources, things that you're going to have to watch. Then you're going to have 4 sections. This is not a pick one. This is you will turn in 4 pieces of data. Part 1, the personal data audit. Part 2, the gray zone corporate scenario role play using your memo. Part 3, a real text context analysis. And Part 4, a professional ethics and future application. Now for the Part 1, the personal data audit, this section is all about you. You're going to log into a major platform you use every day, like Google, Instagram, TikTok, and you're going to dig into the privacy or ad center settings to see the tracking profile the algorithm has built on you. You will identify 3 specific tags it has assigned to your name. You will evaluate their accuracy, explain why the algorithm made a mistake if a tag is wrong, and directly connect your findings to data mining theory from your textbook readings. You should not be using AI for this. It will spit out the same 3 tags for each of you that use it, and it's very noticeable that if you used AI. This is a good exercise for you to get into your privacy settings on your social media and actually take a look at them, which is why we're doing it. Now, step 2 is your gray zone decision-making memo. This is where you apply that decision-making framework that you learned about and this decision memo itself, an action memo. You'll be acting as a senior data strategist at HealthTrack. You are going to be writing a decision memo for the CEO regarding the mood matching audio feature. Remember your constraint. You cannot just say, no, this is creepy. The board demands revenue. This is a money-based decision. You must propose a launch strategy that balances the commercial profit with ethical integrity. You must include the exact text for the user opt-in pop-up and define the technical kill switch parameters for when you want the microphone to stop listening, and outline the crisis communication plan to handle the public relations backlash. So that's all going to be really falling down into, here's my decision, the purpose of this memo, here's the background on why we're making a decision on this, here's my justification, and here's the timeline and the recommendations. All right. And then from there, your third part is a real-time context analysis. Data law and corporate policy change by the second. So for this third piece, you need to find a credible news article or legal update from the last 3 months regarding a privacy or data scandal or regulation that's changed. And it can be anything: the EU AI Act, a major social media lawsuit, data breach, anything. You will synthesize the real world event with your health track scenario, meaning you will compare what could happen in your health track scenario with the event you have chosen in the real world. What happens if you have a data breach? What happens if you have a failure of security? What happens if blah, blah, blah? How would today's actual legal and social climate impact or endanger your hypothetical feature length? Launch is what I'm looking for. With piece 4, we're going to wrap up with a report by looking at your future career. Regardless of your major, whether it's HR, finance, marketing, or IT, you will handle data and you will face ethical pressure. You will state the specific job title you want in 5 years, describe a highly realistic data dilemma you will face in that role, and explicitly draw your line in the sand. This one specific data practice will absolutely, the one specific data practice that you're going to draw on the sign is the one that you absolutely would refuse to do in real life, not just made up. If I asked you to go in and spy on all the women and collect all their photos into a private database that only employees can use, that's a pretty hard line. You won't do that. If you're not willing to do whatever part of this case study is, where is your line in the sand is what I'm looking for. Even if the saying means losing your job. If you draw that line and says, okay, you're gonna be fired from here, you're still not willing to go past it. So this is all about your personal opinions, personal life, personal experiences. It doesn't need to be researched that much other than the entity that happened outside the class. So you will be pulling in outside resources for this assignment, and you will be turning in 4 pieces to this assignment on one document. Now, do not forget the strict procedural mechanics of this assignment. You must upload your Word document to the plagiarism detection link, and you must copy and paste the full text directly into your discussion board text editor. Missing either step is an automatic 0 for these case studies. Plagiarism or AI generated writing will also result in automatic 0, and anything submitted late is an automatic 0. So the system might let you upload after that 5 p.m. deadline, but it won't be graded if it's uploaded at 5:01 p.m. If you upload it at 5:01 p.m., it will get a 0. It must be uploaded before 5 p.m. on Fridays. Now, this assignment is designed to stretch your analytic muscles and teach you how to make tough, balanced corporate calls. So I strongly suggest you start early, write it piece by piece, and use the decision memo structure to upgrade your business communication. So work hard on this. You're going to see the basically same format for every case study. You're going to be doing about 8 of these. And so as you learn how to use things like action memo template, as you learn how to generate your opinions and piece and research, it should get easier and better with each one that you built. From there, it is 50 points. You need between 1,000 and 1,500 words. You will be deducted points for anything below 1,000 words. That 1,000 words is for all 4 pieces combined. So I'm not looking for 1,000 words for each of the pieces. I don't want 4,000 words I have to read. So your decision-making template is like 250 words. Your professional ethics and line in the sand, 250 words. Your gray zone piece, 250 words. Data audit, 250 words. So if you shoot for 200 to 300 words per section, laid out correctly, you will hit your 1,000 and you'll be good to go. Don't forget about those 2 submission locations and the hard deadlines. For peer engagement, you must engage with your peers. There are points associated with it. If you just do the 2 engagements with a sort of soft responses, that's worth 70%. That's about average for a student. If you go below 2 responses, you're going to get less. If you go above and beyond, you get more points. That's how it works. And guys, I'll be grading on completeness. Did you do all the sections? I'll be grading on your writing style, your writing quality, your writing grade level. I'll be grading you on things like, did you bring in outside research? Is your opinion stated? Is it tied to your own history? Did you engage to your peers and fellow students? And so I'm looking at you as a whole, not just did we do the check boxes, but what quality did you do the check mark boxes at? If you have questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Otherwise, this is your action template. Memorandum, through, from, subject, 5 pieces: purpose, background, justification, timeliness, and recommendation, date, time, name of you and your job position and the theoretical job you're taking, and submit it as part of your piece. All right, guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Otherwise, have a very fruitful day. I'll see you in your data.